welcome back to our channel, Infused Reviews with Victoria and Kiara.
Today we're going to be doing a Cravings recipe again, and we're going to be doing the risotto with porcini mushrooms and peas. So we were going to add the peas.
Don't like peas.
But we're not big fans of peas. I mean, I like them, but when they're in like hot stuff, they get mushy and stuff, and I was like, you know what, we're just gonna use what we have. And we had everything anyway.
And we had everything else but the peas, and I only really like peas if it's like split pea soup.
Same.
I don't really like...
They're already mashed.
Yeah, like I don't really like a side of peas, so we're just scratching the peas, but we're doing everything else the same.
Everything else is exactly the same.
And as you can tell, we love Chrissy Teigen, so today's another Chrissy Teigen recipe. Enjoy it. Get with it. Her book is awesome.
1 and 2.
Yeah. And as usual, we have all of our ingredients here, prepped and ready to go.
So we have the mushrooms here, about 2 ounces. It was soaking in warm water. You have to soak it for about an hour to 4 hours. It was soaking a little over an hour. And then we have our 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Our onion, you can use a shallot or an onion. And then we have a cup of the Arborio rice, which is the risotto. But this is like more than a cup, right?
Yes, it's like a little bit more than a cup. I did 1.5 cups. Only because we're having more people eating, so I just made a little bit more.
And then we have half a cup of the dry white wine. And then we have our salt and pepper. And then we have our 1 cup of Parmesan, which we'll probably add more because we love our cheese. And then over here we have our chicken broth boiling. Don't worry about the stuff floating on top. This is the mushroom water mixed with the chicken broth. So it has
First up, we melt some butter. Once the butter is all melted, then we add in the onions just to saute it real quick before adding in the Arborio rice.
All the way in. And then you have to mix this around pretty good. And you're waiting for it to pop. You see? It's starting to pop. So that's why you kind of have to mix them because you want them to get like translucent. Same thing. Like you see here. So here you don't want it to get brown. So if you see some parts are starting to get brown, and that's how you know that's it. You gotta now add in the next step, which is adding in the white wine.
Don't be scared of this part.
Don't be scared. And then you have to constantly keep moving it around. You should start adding. So if you see, the white wine is pretty much all dried up now. So this is when you'll want to go ahead and start adding the broth that's over here. And remember, this broth should have been cooked and been boiling prior to, and then you just shut it off when it starts boiling. You need to have boiling water. Well, boiling broth, I should say.
It's steaming. I can see the steam. Want me to do the ladle and you mix?
Yeah. You want to do it? Yeah. And that's good. You kind of want to just cover the risotto. You don't want to soak it in broth. Because I've heard when you soak it in broth, it's like actually bad for it.
Mushy?
Yeah. Because you have to let it like kind of cook slowly. So then you're just going to keep moving this until all that water evaporates. Well, broth, I should say. And then once all this starts evaporating, then you just add more and more until all the broth is gone. Some people think risotto is a pasta, but it's not a pasta at all. It's actually a rice. It's actually from Arborio rice. And she'll put it right here. And I'll put it right here. Kiara, you said her first time having risotto was when?
It was like a year ago, and we were at like a dental meet, and they would order for us. It was also Italian food, I guess, because it was like the easiest thing. Everyone likes it, and they would have like these little hors d'oeuvres already paid for, served, and you don't order; it's just food given to you. And risotto was always one of them, and I liked it ever since the first time I had it. And it's definitely not something I would have ordered. That's what I said, ordered in a restaurant, because I always thought it was a pasta. But it's not, it's a rice.
Yeah. And my first time having risotto was in Italy when I was studying abroad, and it was only because I went to Milan, and I remember my teacher telling me, when you're in Milan you have to have risotto because every region serves different foods. So when I was in Milan, there were so many different restaurants that were serving risotto, so my friends and I all just like ordered 4 different risottos and just tried them, and I fell in love ever since. So now we're going to add the mushrooms. And we're also going to add some more broth, obviously, because we need some more. It's really dry.
We don't want it to be dry. Nobody wants a dry risotto.
Oh, dry risottos are the worst.
I feel like that's the best part about eating risotto.
That it's creamy.
The creaminess.
how do you feel about making risotto for the first time?
It's a workout, and you gotta babysit this, so don't make plans for the next hour.
Don't make plans. Good tip.
Seriously, don't. It's not the type of meal you wanna multitask with.
So we finished all of our broth. As you can see, everything is pretty much all dried up now. At this point, she doesn't specify, but I do shut my flame off, so I'm gonna shut this off. And we're going to add the butter.
This is gonna be so healthy for you guys.
So healthy.
All the butter. There's mushrooms at least.
At least.
And some wine.
And wine. And then this is when you add in
well,
the
now
cheese.
in her book it's actually the time she adds the piece, but we
She
don't
adds
have
the
the
piece. Okay.
But go ahead. We're
And
gonna
then
add
she
the
says add the
cheese.
cheese.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So I love
cheese gets
cheese.
left behind.
And just to remind you guys, Parmesan cheese has salt in it. So before you go and add like a bunch of salt, be very careful because Parmesan cheese is salty.
Any type of cheese though.
That's true. Any type of cheese is pretty salty. After this cheese has all been melted, you're going to add some salt and pepper to taste. Like I said, I would only add a little bit of salt, but I would definitely do some pepper.
I love pepper.
I love pepper.
I love me some pepper. Just a pinch.
All right, that was just a pinch.
I was telling them. And that's a handful.
More pepper?
No, it looks so good. Come on. Cheesiness.
It's a cheesy, creamy rice.
Mushrooms. Oh.
And there you have it.
Risotto.
Cheers.
Oh my
This is really good.
It's so good. But can you go wrong
So
with risotto
good.
if you don't know how to make it, I guess?
If you don't know how to make
Risotto's
it,
so good.
but I know how to make risotto, so
And it's not like mushroomy.
good. It's not mushroomy.
Because she doesn't like mushrooms really that much.
Or that eat a mushroom.
I love mushrooms, so. I tried cutting my son as I could.
It's okay. No, I like them when they're tiny. It doesn't matter. But no, this is really, really good. I'm obsessed. What would you rate it? 1 through 10.
This is
Taste.
probably our best meal though.
This is definitely our best meal so far.
And it was easy.
It was very easy. As far as taste, for 1 through 10, I definitely give it like a... You always give such low ratings. I was thinking a 9.
I would give higher than you.
I would give higher.
8.5.
I would definitely say like 8.5, 9. It's not like, it's really good, but it's not like good.
Yo. Yeah, and I'm hungry.
And I'm really hungry, so that's why I'm gonna say like 8.5, 9. Really good. As far as following the recipe, was really, really easy to make.
Except we didn't know when to add the mushrooms.
Yes, and there was something else we didn't know. She wasn't specific about the butter. Like, we added all the butter in the beginning, but because I've made risotto before, I knew we had to add butter at the end as well.
I didn't know that. Someone like me did not know that.
So as far as following the recipe, I feel like maybe like a 7.
Yeah, it was okay. She's pretty good with being
Pretty
very specific with her recipes.
But this one...
we're a little confused. Risotto's a little tricky though.
It is.
So, if I didn't have you, I'd definitely be lost. I'm like, huh? What?
So
yeah, like 7.
So if you're newer, you're a beginner, and you're trying to follow this recipe, I give it like a 7. It's about how easy it is to follow.
Same, since I give low ratings.
But 9 on the meal.
It was good.
Try it. And don't forget to like, comment, share,
Subscribe.
peace out.
Peace.